الحمدللہ رب العالمین والصلو والسلام علی سید المرسلین اما بعد فاعوذ باللہ من الشیطان الرجیم بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم الصلاة والسلام علیک یا رسول اللہ
الصلاة والسلام علیک یا رسول اللہ
وعلی آلک واصحابک یا حبیب اللہ
وعلی آلک واصحابک یا حبیب اللہ
الصلاة والسلام علیک یا نبی اللہ
الصلاة والسلام علیک یا نبی اللہ
وعلی آلک واصحابک یا نور اللہ
وعلی آلک واصحابک یا نور اللہ.
My dear Islam brothers and viewers of Madani channel, welcome to the Silsila Blissfull Saher, the Sari program in the UK. Here in the studio we've already performed our Sari inshaAllah. So I'm going to spend the next 1.5 hours inshaAllah with you as well. Tonight's a special night. It's a special night not only in Pakistan, but it's also a special night here. In Pakistan at the moment they are celebrating the Jashan-e-Wiladat, the birthday of Amir al-Sunnat, and here in the UK traditionally, and we'll talk about this later on, the 27th night of Ramadan is the night of Laylatul Qadr, and inshaAllah Azawajal we'll discuss that later on. But before we carry on with the rest of the inshaAllah silsila, we're going to first start with a talawat of the Holy Quran, inshaAllah Azawajal.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنا أنزلناه في ليلة القدر الملائكة والروح فيها بإذن ربهم من كل أمر سلام هي حتى مطلع الفجر صدق الله العظيم.
MashaAllah, subhanallah. Subhanallah, the surah that was recited was Surah Al-Qadr, inshaAllah. We'll discuss that later on as well, inshaAllah Azawajal. My dear Islam brothers and viewers of Madani channel, we've said it before, we're going to say it again. The month is coming to the end now. It's the 27th night in the UK. So I hope and I pray that you've taken heed of the advice that we've tried to give you to try and make a habit of reciting the Holy Quran on a daily basis, even if it's just 3 ayats with translation and commentary, which is the request of Amir al-Sunnat. Inshallah, we're now going to go on to a kalam, inshallah Azawajal, and then we'll carry on with the rest of the silsila. Ji Madina.
Salli ala نبينا صلي على محمد بہار جا فضا تم ہو نسیم گل ستا تم ہو بہار باغ رضوان تم سے ہے زیب جنا تم ہو خدا کی سلطنت کا دو جہاں میں کون دولا ہے خدا کی سلطنت کا دو جہاں میں کون دولا ہے تم ہی تم ہو، تم ہی تم ہو، یہاں تم ہو وہاں تم ہو، تم ہی تم ہو، تم ہی تم ہو، یہاں تم ہو وہاں تم ہو، حقیقت سے تمہاری جز خود خدا اور کون واقف ہے، کہے تو کیا کہے کوئی، کہے کوئی، چنی تم ہو چنا تم ہو، تمہارے ہوتے ساتھ درد دکھ کے سے کہوں پیارے، تمہارے ہوتے ساتھ دکھ کے سے کہوں پیارے، شفیع آسیہ تم ہو، وکیل مجرمہ تم ہو، شفیع آسیہ تم ہو، وکیل مجرمہ تم ہو، ریاضت کے یہی دن ہے، براپے میں کہا ہمت، ریاضت کے یہی دن ہے، براپے میں کہا ہمت، جو کچھ کرنا ہے ابھی کر لو، ابھی نوری جواں تم ہو، جو کچھ کرنا ابھی کر لو، ابھی نوری جواں تم ہو، فقط نسبت کا جیسے ہو، حقیقی نور ہو جاؤ، فقط نسبت کا جیسے ہو، حقیقی نور ہو جاؤ، جو مجھ کو دیکھ کے اٹھے میاں نوری میاں تم ہو، جو مجھ کو دیکھ کے اٹھے میاں نوری میاں تم ہو، بہار جاں فضا تم ہو، نسیم گل ستا تم ہو، بہار باغ رضوان تم سے ہے، زیب جنا تم ہو.
سبحان اللہ, MashaAllah Azza wa Jal. My dearest following brothers and viewers of the channel, inshallah we're going to read our daily wazaif now. And these wazaif that we read are those wazaif that Specifically, it should be recited in the morning and the evening. And before Rehan Bhai actually recites these daily wazaif for us, I'm actually going to tell you what the actual definition, the Islamic definition of morning and evening is. After the passing of half of the night until the glow of the first ray of sun, a lot of people might think it's after Maghrib, but it's between when Zohar starts until Maghrib starts. This is the time that is defined as evening Islamically. So these wazaif that Rehan Bhai is going to read to us now, that we're all going to read is, we're actually reading them in the morning now. Probably it's half the night might already have gone. We're reading them now, and inshallah, if you want to read them in the evening, the time is between Zohar and Maghrib, inshallah. Ji Rehan Bhai.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. By reciting 3 times in the evening and in the morning, this particular wazaif, the person, inshallah, the reciter will die with iman.
Subhanallah.
Allahumma inna na'udhu bika min an nushrika bika shay'an na'lamuhu wa nastaghfiruka lima la na'lamu. Allahumma inna na'udhu bika min an nushrika bika shay'an na'lamuhu wa nastaghfiruka lima la na'lamu. Allahumma inna na'udhu bika min an nushrika bika shay'an na'lamuhu wa nastaghfiruka lima la na'lamu. The next wazaif, by reciting 2 times in the morning and evening, one will get protection for his religion, life, wealth, and his family.
Subhanallah.
Bismillahi ala dini Bismillahi ala nafsi wa wuldi wa ahli wa mali. Bismillahi ala dini Bismillahi ala nafsi wa wuldi wa ahli wa mali. Bismillahi ala dini Bismillahi ala nafsi wa wuldi wa ahli wa mali. The last wazaif, by reciting this once in the morning and in the evening, one will be saved from grief. And if the person is to recite this 11 times in the morning and evening, then inshallah Allah Azza wa Jal will protect him from getting into debt.
Subhanallah.
Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min al-hammi wal huzni wa a'udhu bika min al-'ijzi wal kasali wa a'udhu bika min al-jubni wal bukhli wa a'udhu bika min ghalaba tiddaini wa qahrir rijal.
MashaAllah Azza. Dear Islam brothers and viewers of Madani channel, we've got quite a few requests for du'as in the WhatsApp messages. The WhatsApp numbers on the bottom of your screen. Inshallah, you can send in your messages there. You can also send in your voice messages, and inshallah Azza, if appropriate, then we'll play them on the channel. A lot of people are requesting for dua, and what we're going to read now is the Shajar Sharif, which essentially is in the form of a dua. And as we said before, the Prophet of Allah ﷺ said that the dua is the weapon of the mu'min. And a dua is an opportunity. Normally what happens when people go to gatherings and they listen to the bayan or they listen to the naats, and at the end, when the dua starts, a lot of people leave. Yeah. Now that's the heart of the gathering. Yeah. That's the time where you can really take something away from the gathering. Yeah. You can take away a bit of knowledge by listening to the bayans, but That part of the gathering is that opportunity where you have that golden opportunity to present yourself in the court of Allah Azza wa Jal and seek forgiveness for all of those actions that you've committed, that you don't want to be held accountable for on that dark and lonely grave and on the dark judgment as well. So please make an intention that whenever you are at a gathering, to stay to the end and partake in the dua as well. Please join in with the Shajara Sharif. Again, the Shajara Sharif, we can download it online, www.dawatislami.net, or you can purchase the Shajara Sharif from any Maktabat al-Madina stall. Ji Madina.
یا الہی رحم فرما مصطفیٰ کے واسطے، یا رسول اللہ کرم کیجے خدا کے واسطے، مشکلیں حل کر شہ مشکل کشا کے واسطے، کربلائے رد شہید کربلا کے واسطے، سید سجاد کے صدقے میں ساجد رکھ مجھے، علم حق دے باخر علم خدا کے واسطے، صدق صادق کا تصدق صادق الاسلام کر، بے غضب راضی ہو کاظم اور رضا کے واسطے، بہر معروف و سری معروف دے بے خود سری، جند حق میں گن جنید با صفا کے واسطے، بہر شبلی شیر حق دنیا کے کتوں سے بچا، ایک کار عبد واحد بیریا کے واسطے، بل فرح کا صدقہ کر غم کو فرح دے حسن و سعد، بو حسن اور بو سعید سعد زا کے واسطے، قادری کر قادری رکھ قادریوں میں اٹھا، قدر عبد القادر قدرت نما کے واسطے، احسن اللہ لہم رزقا سے دے رزق حسن، بندہ رزاق تاج الاصفیاء کے واسطے، نصر بھی صالح کا صدقہ صالح و منصور رکھ دے، حیات دین محیی جا فضا کے واسطے، طور عرفان و علو و حمد و حسن بہا دے، علی موسیٰ حسن احمد بہا کے واسطے، بہر ابراہیم مجھ پر نار غم گلزار کر، بھیک دے داتا بھکاری بادشاہ کے واسطے، خانہ دل کو زیاد روح ایمان کو جما، شازیہ مولا جمال اولیاء کے واسطے، دے محمد کے لیے روزی کا احمد کے لیے، خال فضل اللہ سے حصہ گدا کے واسطے، دین دنیا کے مجھے برکات سے برکات سے، عشق حق دے عشق عشق انتما کے واسطے، حب اہل بیت دے آل محمد کے لیے، کر شہید عشق حمزہ پیشوا کے واسطے، دل کو اچھا تن کو ستھرا جان کو پر نور کر، اچھے پیارے شمس دی بدر العلا کے واسطے، دو جہاں میں خادم آل رسول اللہ کر، حضرت آل رسول مقتدی کے واسطے، کر عطا احمد رضا احمد مرسل مجھے، میرے مولا حضرت احمد رضا کے واسطے، پرزیا کر میرا چہرہ حشر میں اے کبریا، شاہ ضیاء الدین پیر باصفا کے واسطے، احینا فی الدین والدنیا سلام بالسلام، قادری عبد السلام خوش ادا کے واسطے، عشق احمد میں عطا کر چشم تر سوزے جگر، یا خدا الیاس کو احمد رضا کے واسطے، یا خدا عطار کو احمد رضا کے واسطے، صدقہ ان آیا کدے چن عین اس علم و عمل، عفو عرفا عافیت اس بے نوا کے واسطے،
صلوا علی الحبیب صلی اللہ تعالی محمد صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم. Also, before we actually get onto the topic of today, I've got a few messages here that I want to read out, and meanwhile our technical team can port in the Muballik and port out our Naqwan, inshaAllah. A few questions here about people asking for du'as. May Allah grant whatever you require, whatever jaiz requirements you have. My dear Islam brothers and viewers, a lot of people are sending in for du'as. And we're going to talk about the night, any night basically. The night is the best time for your du'as to be accepted. Tonight, the night of Laylatul Qadr, and inshaAllah, it's a golden opportunity for you. So sit down on your janamaz, present yourself in the court of Allah Azza wa Jal, and if possible, cry in the court of Allah Azza wa Jal. And instead, the Buzurgs have said that if you cannot cry, if you cannot physically shed tears, then if you make a face as if you are trying to cry, then inshaAllah Azza wa Jal, your name will be written amongst those people that are crying in the court of Allah Azza wa Jal. Present yourself in the court of Allah Azza wa Jal. Mangne wale hain, hum mein, to inshaAllah Allah dene wale. So if it is not in your destiny, that whatever you do dua for, if it's not in your destiny, then you should have this mindset that whatever Allah has given us, it is for the betterment of us.
Subhanallah.
Another sister sent a message here that mashallah they've got a sadaqah box inside the house. This is another, in the UK especially, we have money boxes where you can put them in shops, you can put them inside your houses, and the brothers, or if it's a sister, they will collect them on a monthly basis. And again, this is a way of donating to the great works of Dawat Islami. So if you want a sadaqah box in your house, or if you've got an office, or a business, or a takeaway, or whatever business you've got, if you want a charity box, a donation box in your house, then please send your details on the WhatsApp number, inshaAllah. And let us know what town you're from, because then we'll pass your details on to the appropriate person in that town, and they will contact you. And also, it'd be better if you let us know you're a brother or a sister, and then we can make sure that it's a brother that contacts you, or it's a sister who contacts if you're a sister. So that's another opportunity that you've got. Again, quite a few people are sending in for du'as. And there's a lot of people that have these worries out there, problems with their children. Again, try and bring them. I've just been told my earpiece that we have to give a link, inshallah. There's going to be a link now of a guldasta of Amelia Sunnah. Please watch this, inshallah. Don't go away, we're still here. We'll be back when you get back. And inshallah, by that time, the technical team will have ported in our Mubalik, inshallah, as well. So let's watch the guldasta, inshallah, Azza wa Jalla.
کتنا میٹھا چمن ہے دلارا چمن تار کا چمن کتنا پیارا چمن کتنا میٹھا چمن ہے دلارا چمن جن کے دیدار سے یاد آئے خدا جن کا کردار ہے سنت مصطفیٰ جن کے دیدار سے یاد آئے خدا جن کا کردار ہے سنت مصطفیٰ ذل غوث الورا اقص احمد رضا حامی بے کسا مرشد باصفا ان کے چہرے سے پھوٹے کہ نوری کرن اور پھولے پھلے ان کا مدنی چمن تار کا چمن کتنا پیارا چمن کتنا میٹھا چمن ہے دلارا چمن تار کا چمن کتنا پیارا چمن کتنا میٹھا چمن ہے دلارا چمن پیر و مرشد ملا مجھ کو عطار ہے اب بھی در در پھروں یہ تو بیکار ہے پیر و مرشد ملا مجھ کو عطار ہے اب بھی در در پھروں یہ تو بیکار ہے اور اب کچھ نہیں مجھ کو درکار ہے مجھ کو عطار ہی سے سروکار ہے میں کہیں اور جاؤں بھلا کیوں لمن اور پھولے پھلے ان کا مدنی چمن تار کا چمن کتنا پیارا چمن کتنا میٹھا چمن ہے دلارا چمن تار کا چمن کتنا پیارا چمن کتنا میٹھا چمن ہے دلارا چمن آل و اصحاب سے ان کو راحت بھی دے ان کو صحت بھی دے اور برکات بھی دے آل و اصحاب سے ان کو راحت بھی دے ان کو صحت بھی دے اور برکات بھی دے، ان کو ہمت عطا کر تو طاقت بھی دے، مدنی کاموں سے جو کہ انہیں روک دے، ان سے مولا تو رکھ دور ویسی تھکر، اور پھولے پھلے ان کا مدنی چمن، تار کا چمن کتنا پیارا چمن، کتنا میٹھا چمن ہے دلارا چمن، تار کا چمن کتنا پیارا چمن، کتنا میٹھا چمن ہے دلارا چمن۔ اتار پر پدر اتار پر آل پر اور محبان اتار پر، اتار پر پدر اتار پر آل پر اور محبان اتار پر، مدنی مرکز پہ اور بیت اتار پر، اپنے اتار پر اس گناہ گار پر کیجئے رحمت آپ شاہ زمن، اور پھولے پھلے ان کا مدنی چمن، تار کا چمن کتنا پیارا چمن، کتنا میٹھا چمن ہے دلارا چمن، تار کا چمن کتنا پیارا چمن، کتنا میٹھا چمن ہے دلارا چمن، ہے دلارا چمن۔
MashaAllah. MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Today, they celebrated the birthday of Amir al-Sunnat in Babun and everyone was watching it. And, so many people are sending messages that it was amazing watching this. Somebody said here, Assalamu alaikum Khalid, I was watching Madani channel earlier when Peter Sah's birthday was being celebrated. MashaAllah, what a wonderful way to celebrate birthday. MashaAllah. With regards to that, you may have seen on the channel that a lot of people give gifts. And those that you didn't see it, maybe you're wondering what these gifts were. Gifts are Bapa doesn't require worldly gifts, he calls them Madani gifts. And Madani gifts can be good deeds or intentions for good deeds. So if you've read the Quran, or if you've been on a Madani Qafla, or you've given dars, or all these things, and you can make these intentions and present them in the court of Amir al-Sunnat as a gift, inshaAllah. And in the same way, if you make an intention to do something, if you make an intention that inshaAllah I'm going to come to the Thursday Ijtama, the brothers Ijtama every week inshaAllah, and this is a good intention to make. If you're an Islamic brother that's watching now and you make an intention to adorn the beautiful beard on your face, subhanallah. I remember Nigrani Shura, he was saying that, when he was in Ittikaf and Amir al-Sunnat presented the bowl, and he said, whoever makes the intention of keeping a beard, I'll give him that bowl.
Subhanallah.
And Nigrani Shura put his hand down and he grabbed hold of the bowl. And he says, from that day to this day, I've never shaved my beard. So make these intentions, inshallah, and present them. And inshallah, if you want to send us in the messages, we'll send them to Amir al-Sunnat, inshallah. A lot of people are sending messages in, inshallah. We'll try and get through these messages. But today, we're going to talk about Laylatul Qadr. And I've been rectified. Earlier on before the Guldasta happened, I said tonight is Laylatul Qadr. And I take them words back. I do tawbah for that. And rectify myself, because tonight could be Laylatul Qadr. The scholars have said that it could be on the 27th, but it could also be on the odd nights as well. So I take back that it could be, but a lot of scholars believe that out of all the odd nights, this is the most probable night that it could be Laylatul Qadr. And this, the tilawat at the beginning, we read Surah Qadr, and I just want to give us the translation of this, inshaAllah, and then we'll go through our muballighs with regards to this. I begin in the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the merciful. Undoubtedly we revealed it, i.e. the Quran, in the night of power. And what will tell you what the night of power is? The night of power is better than 1,000 months. The angels and the Spirit Jibreel descend in it by the command of their Lord for every affair. It is all peaceful until the rising of the dawn. Now, with regards to this particular surah, one of the reasons for the revelation of this particular surah is, that the Prophet of Allah ﷺ was telling that the Shamsun, he did ibadat for 1,000 months. And he was talking about the people of the past, that they did ibadat for 1,000 months, they did ibadat for so many years. And the companion said, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we can never compete with these people. You know, on the Day of Judgment, how can we compete with somebody that's done ibadat for 1,000 months non-stop? How can we compete with those people of the past that have lived for thousands of lives and done ibadat for thousands of lives? And then Allah Azza wa Jalla revealed this verse in which we are told that this particular night, this night is better than 1,000 months. And it's not defined as exactly 1,000 months. If it's the mercy of Allah Azza wa Jalla, it can be so much more. So this is the beauty of this particular night. If inshallah it is this night, we don't know if it is. But and the other thing is that you've got to be very careful as well, is that night is the time of blessings. If you look at Shab-e-Miraj and all the other nights, they're the nights of blessings. These are the nights where du'as are accepted. And the only day that has a blessing is the day of Jummah as well. The other significant part with regarding to this particular surah that we just mentioned, and he mentions here in the tafsir, is that specific nights and specific days are days of blessings. Yeah? And the night of Shab-e-Qadr will be a night of blessing right up until the day of judgment. And so in Islam there are certain days and certain nights throughout the calendar that are specifically blessed days. In the same way, the day in which the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam on his day is a special day. It is a mercy to all mankind. And that's why we remember that day as a blessing, and it happens every year. Alhamdulillah azza wa jal. You were seen by, they've ported you in, they've done a bit of magic again, they've got you here in your seat without anybody realizing. Ji Madina.
Laylatul Qadr. This is what we want to talk about today, and it's an extremely blessed night. And the reason why it's called this, there's many reasons for this. It's one reason is because the commandments of the whole year are enforced in this night. This is one reason why it's called Laylatul Qadr, and the angels, they make a record of whatever is going to happen for the following year. Also, Mufti Ahmad Yar Khan Naimi alayhi rahmah, he says that this night is called Laylatul Qadr for several other reasons, and he mentions that in this night the tasks of the following years are set and assigned to the angels. Qadr refers to either destiny or dignity. He mentions the Holy Quran was revealed in this night. This is another reason. He also says that the worship performed in the night of the worship performed in this night has great qadr, great excellence. And also, qadr also means narrowness. By narrowness, why? Because the angels descend at this night in such a great number that the earth is crowded with them, and for these reasons, this night is called Laylatul Qadr. And is mentioned in Bukhari Sharif that whoever offers namaz with faith and sincerity at this night, he shall be forgiven for all his previous sins. So these are some another things you could do. Laylatul Qadr is so important that Allah Azza wa Jal has revealed, as you mentioned, the whole surah describing its excellence. In this blessed surah, Allah Azza wa Jal has mentioned several unique qualities of this sacred night. Commentating on this, it said that this night, Allah Azza wa Jal has sent down the Holy Quran from the Lawh-e Mahfuz to the first sky, and then gradually revealed it to His blessed Rasul over a period of approximately 23 years. And about what you said earlier about the previous nation when they were worshipping for 1,000
months, yeah.
It's stated in Tafsir Azizi that when the Holy Prophet ﷺ considered the fact that the previous ummahs were given long lives, where this ummah, his ummah, was given short lives compared to them, the Holy Prophet ﷺ, he got a bit dejected and concerned that his ummah would not be able to surpass the previous ummahs even if they worshipped abundantly. And because of this, the mercy of Allah Azza wa Jal intensified, and Allah Azza wa Jal granted His beloved Rasul sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam the gift of Laylatul Qadr.
Subhanallah.
So this is the mercy of Allah Azza wa Jal as well.
Sorry.
Sorry.
You mentioned that the previous ummahs, they like for example, as Musa alayhi salam, they were living up to in excess of 1500 years, and there was such long lives, and we have so many examples and riwayat of pious people doing ibadat. They just kept themselves away. We read about in one of the risalas about a person where he just did ibadat only, kept fast and did ibadat and all his reading for continuously for the 80 years. And that was just a portion of his life. And like you said, the companions of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, they came, they became almost jealous that how are we going to compete with this when our lives are on average to 60 to 70 years. If we look at ourselves, in modern day age, we don't compare to the companions in no way or form. And our lifestyles, we possibly, this is a big ask, for a lot of us, that we might do religious acts of maybe up to an hour a day. up to an hour a day, it's very rare that people get a chance to do more than this. It's usually less. If this is a person who's practicing and reading his salah, he'll make time for that, and if you add that up, it's probably within an hour. And then usually no more than this. If the person doesn't start, if he's lucky enough to become baligh, old enough, 12 years old, he starts to act upon what he's supposed to do, and then from the age of 12 onwards up to about 60, 70, if you take in his work, his sleep, the chances are that his ibadat, if it's a couple of hours a day, is going to work out to somewhere of around about a couple of years. Yeah, this is why, alhamdulillah, when Allah sent down this night, was the night, mentioned that this is the night. And like Halabai, when you said that it is one of the odd nights within this month, so people, there is very strong pointing and indication towards the 27th, but it is also indicated that the night can shift between the odd nights, and that's why you found that the pious people, those who were close to Allah, the Prophet ﷺ himself, for the last 10 nights, they would go into itikaf, so that there was no chance of missing this night. So people should try and keep this in mind, that don't just wait for the 27th. Every odd night you do your utmost not to miss it, because like we said, this is an opportunity of this being the night of equal to 1,000 or more months of ibadat.
This implies to approximately 83 years. You mentioned before that, how if you calculate your own life and how much you think you do, but if you add them 1,000 nights up, it approximately works out to this long, 83 years. And
so we have an opportunity every year. Every year we have an opportunity within these last 10 or these odd nights, where if we make the most of our ibadat, that alhamdulillah, inshallah, we could, if it is the 50, 60 years that we do of ibadat, then we've got a chance of multiplying this 83 years worth of ibadat times the amount of life that we have, and it will equal or surpass those who had lives that were longer than ours.
Just in this one night.
Somebody gave me an example once, and I don't know if I mentioned it here on the channel before, but like the whole month of Ramadan is a month of blessing, in which you can get so much reward. And if you were in this dunya, we're always after trying to gain more. If we're making £10 an hour, we want £12 an hour. If we're making £12 an hour, we want £15 an hour. We're always looking for opportunities to make more. And again, we've said it many times on the channel that this is the, again, we need the Islamic mind. How should we think Islamically? And Islamically, we should be thinking, okay, we need to live in this dunya, but this dunya is like a ship. And the ship will take us to the destination, right? But the dunya is the sea, and we need the sea to get to our destination. But the problem is when the sea gets inside the ship, we sink. Right?
Exactly.
So we need to stay in the ship, but not get in the dunya. Right? But what happens is we let the dunya get inside us, and we're running after the dunya. So in the same way, if I've got that mentality where you're looking for the next job where you can make an extra couple of pounds an hour, then as Muslims, shouldn't we be looking for them opportunities where we can get extra sawab, where we can create so much for us, that that on the Day of Judgment we can present it. And for example, if we were to use this month of Ramadan as an example, and if I was to say to you, look, I'm giving you a job for £10 an hour, the job only lasts for 30 days. Well, maybe there's a lot of rich people out there, so we might have to offer them a little bit more. Let's say £25 an hour, If we're offering you £25 an hour for 1 month, and you can put in as many hours as you wish, you can work 24 hours a day if you wish, whatever hours you wish, we'll pay you, right? But there's one night in this month. I don't know which night it is, and I'm not going to tell you which night it is. But on that night, if you put in an hour, right, you will get
a lifetime.
30,000 times. 1,000 months is 30,000. And the calculators are right. We need a calculator. The 30,000 times 25 is a huge number. We've got Ramazaan by our technical man there. 30,000 times 25. That's how much money you will get per hour. Ramazaan by how many hours? What is that? £750,000. So if I was to say to you that one night in this month, you're going to make £750,000 an hour, but I'm not going to tell you which night it is. Right? This is the catch. Now you tell me, would you sleep any night?
Or not even?
Or even if I was to say any night,
Even if you said odd, even
if I was to say 30 nights, any night, yeah, just for 30 nights, you would not take a rest for 30 days, yeah? If I say to you it's any night, you won't take a rest for 30 days. If I was to say for you 10 nights, then I'm sure you would give everything else up, you sleep during the day, and you stay up all night, every night. So you've got an opportunity of making £750,000 an hour. Now just think, if at the end of the month when I give you your wage slip, and on that wage slip you see it, and you realise that you missed that night.
Exactly.
Allah. That night, I was out with the that night I was playing on my PlayStation. That night, you know, I was watching TV to pass some time. How gutted would you feel?
Exactly.
How gutted would you feel that you missed the opportunity of making £750,000 an hour? Yeah, something that you can never make in your whole life. An hour, remember? An hour. And if the night is a 12-hour night, 750,000 times 12, I don't know if Ramazaan is going to tell us that. But again, it's a huge amount, making millions basically in one night. Yeah?
Exactly.
But, you know, £9 million, mashallah, technical staff said. So if the night was 12 hours a night, you've got a chance in one night to make £9 million. Now, how many of us could ever make £9 million in our lifetime? We couldn't do it, right? So here's an opportunity to do it, and what are we doing?
Not taking advantage of it, but you know...
We just ignored it. We've not taken advantage of it at all. In the same way, sorry to stop you, Shab-e Barat, yeah? On that night, the Prophet of Allah ﷺ said that on that night, more people are forgiven than the hair on the sheep of the tribe of Bani Kalb. Yeah? And this is just an analogy that there's millions, they had a very, you know, loads of more sheep than anybody else, and they were very hairy sheep. And it says that, you know, just an analogy that more people are going to forgive. How many of us, and I ask myself this question, ask yourselves this question, how many of us stayed up on that night? And that is a night, you see, the thing is with Laylatul Qadr, we don't even know what night it is. We're not sure. But Shab-e Barat, we know the night. How many of us stayed up and seek forgiveness for our sins? But if I was to make an elan here, an announcement on Madani channel, and if I was to say to you, tonight's the 20, Shab-e Barat, on this night, in UK, whatever debt you've got, whatever debt you've got, you come along with your mortgage, you come along with whatever bills you have, whatever debt you've got, you come and I'll write a check for you. Right? I'll pay off all your bills. You tell me, there'll be a line, there'll be a queue from here all the way to London, Everybody will be coming into the masjid, they'll be packed, they'll be fighting to make sure they get into the masjid. I want to get to the front, where the person is there writing the checks, I want to get there, pushing people and everything. And they'll be making sure that they get the debts written off. But unfortunately, when it comes to getting your sins written off, when it gets, to get your slate clean, to present yourself in the court of Allah, they always say, oh, forget this, I'm too tired, Agli saal dekhi jayegi. I'm too tired this year, I ain't got time this year, we'll worry about it tomorrow, So this is the Madani mindset that we need to change how we think, We need to change it, and this comes not just with the Laylatul Qadr, not just Shab-e Barat, but everything as well. Everything as well. Just for an example, we're talking about monetary terms as well. It says that if you read your namaz at home, you get, say, X number of sawab. But if you read your namaz in the masjid, you get 27 times more sawab. Now again, if I was to say to you, I'll give you a job, £10 an hour, you can work at home for £10 an hour, but if you come to my place, you're going to get £270 an hour, right? Now you're not going to say, oh, the masjid is more than 2 kilometers away, I'm not coming, it's too far, it's raining. You're going to do it. We're in Bury now. If I was guarantee you, but if I was to say to you, I'm going to give you £270 an hour, and the job was in Birmingham, you'd go to Birmingham every day. You'd go to London every day for £270 an hour.
Exactly.
But we can't get out of our house because of a little bit of rain. We can't get out of our house because we're a little bit tired to go down the road 1 kilometer, 2 kilometers to the local masjid because we can't see the benefit in it. And that's the sad state of the Ummah.
Khalid bhai, we need to be greedy for our deeds.
Exactly, we need to, in the same way that we're greedy for dunya, we need to be greedy for our deeds, and as a Muslim, we need to change how we think. We need to think, change how we think and think that, we're going to go after this. And this happens in everything. I'm probably slightly going off track now, but for example, your namaz. You miss your salah, right? And the Prophet of Allah ﷺ said that if you miss one salah, it is as if you've lost all of your family.
Allah.
Who's bothered about it? Kisko fikr hai? Kisko fikr hai? Kisi ko fikr nahi hai?
No.
Right? Okay. Now, some of the brothers have come here from quite a distance. Some of the brothers have come down the M62, some have come on the M1, mashallah. And there's speed cameras there, And these speed cameras, if you break the law, a bill comes home. A bill comes home to you, £60 fine, 3 points on your license, for example. Now just think, right, if there was a camera on the top of every Muslim's head, and every time he missed the namaz, a £10 fine came home. A £10, just £10, not £60, a £10 fine. You tell me how many people would miss the namaz?
Exactly what happened.
They won't miss the namaz for £10, They say, no, 10 pound, yaar, fine, 2 minutes lagti hai, yaar, namaz padhe, 10 pound to 10 pound hai, yaar. लेकिन जब रसूल पाक सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम ने फरमाया कि if you miss one namaz, it's as if you lost all your family. If you miss one namaz once, your name will be written on the door of hellfire. किसको फिक्र है?
Allah.
किसको परवाह है? Nobody cares, nobody's bothered.
Ji.
Because we think, well, you know, if you talk about parents, brother, I'm there. Yeah?
Ji.
You talk about parents, I'm first in the queue. Okay? Talking about Nikki, you know, when I get a bit old, when I got more white hairs, when I got time, when I got the daughters married off, when I got that koti built back home in Kashmir, then talk to me about, you know, being a pious person. Yeah, you know, we need to wake up. This month is gone, and you know, I myself think about this month, and I'm getting, you know, very upset at the fact that we're on the 27th day of this month now. Kya kita sana? Kuch nahi kita. I look at myself and I think I've wasted a month. Not only have I wasted the days, I've wasted the nights, and what have I achieved? Right?
Nothing, yeah.
And even if I look at, you know, the dunya, what have I? I've not achieved anything in the dunya, and I've achieved anything in the akhirat. And what guarantee we've got, Rian, by that we're going to be here next year?
It's just, that's the thing of the dunya. As Muslims, we need to accept that the dunya is a distraction.
It is.
It is a distraction, and it is solely there that it will divert you from what you're actually doing. And Allah says in the Quran so many times, you know, we read in the Surah Asr, where, you know, man, with the going of time, that man is in loss.
Without doubt.
You know, man is in loss. And then we have the Surah Takathur, where it talks about piling up goods. You know, soon you will know, you will come to know the truth. You know, and it will be too late then. You know, we're talking about the night of power, you know, the Laylatul Qadr, you know, one of these odd nights, you know. We don't even know that the ibadat that we do, the good deeds that we do throughout our life, whether they're actually going to come to any good. Where this night we are being told that, you know, do something good and you will receive 83.3 years worth of ibadat. This is being given to us.
30,000 days. Yeah. Ramazaan bhai, Mr. Calculator, 30,000 times 24. You know, 30,000 days.
Years, yeah.
It's amazing how much time, you know, and this opportunity that we've got, but we don't take it.
Yeah. Our own ibadah cannot compete to the one that Allah
720,000 hours
is going to bless you with this
on this night. This night is better than 720,000 hours. If I was to say to you out there, start counting up to 720,000, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it'll take you all day. Yeah? It'll take you all day to count it, or maybe more than a day just to count it up. Believe me, don't try it, but believe me. And you know, we're missing these opportunities, and this is where we're going wrong as Muslims. We don't take advantage of these opportunities.
It's just a really, really sad situation that this ibadat is given to us. So it's going to be ibadat that is, we didn't have to do anything for it, apart from obviously sacrificing our time, but we're getting 83 years worth of ibadat. Our own ibadat that we do through the life, like I mentioned a short time.
We don't know if that's accepted.
We don't know if it's going to get accepted, but this is being given to us every year. We have an opportunity to get 83 odd amounts of years worth of ibadat, and it's going to be, that's been given to us by Allah.
And there are different forms of ibadat. They say that on this night, Sayyidina Ali radiallahu ta'ala, he mentions that whoever recites Surah Qadr, Inna anzalnahu 7 times in Laylatul Qadr, Allah Azza wa Jal will protect him from every calamity. And 70,000 angels will pray that he enters heaven. Further, whoever recites it 3 times on Friday, any Friday of the year, before Salatul Jummah, the same surah, Inna anzalnahu, Allah Azza wa Jal will write as many good deeds for him as the number of people offering salah that day. And another wazifa, what they say should read on this night, Sayyidatuna Aisha Siddiqa radiyallahu ta'ala anha, she says that she asked the Holy Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasalam, what should I recite if I find Laylatul Qadr? And the beloved Rasul sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasalam said, make this dua, Allahumma innaka afuwun tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anni. So this is one dua we can read. Ya Allah Azza wa Jal, you are the forgiver, and indeed you like forgiving, so forgive me. So inshallah, these are some of the wazair, some of the duas we can pray on this night. And talking about when is the 27th, when is Laylatul Qadr, is in the 27th, is in the 25th, is in the 29th, is on any of the last odd days. There's a difference of opinion amongst the respected jurists, you know. Laylatul Qadr is on the 29th of Ramazaan every year, some say, and some say other things. Sayyidina Ubay bin Qab radiyallahu ta'ala, he holds the opinion that the 27th night of Ramazan is Laylatul Qadr, and Ghaus Azam, he has the same opinion. Sayyidina Shah Abdul Aziz Muhaddis al-Dalwi alayhi rahmah, he also is one of them scholars that favored the opinion that Laylatul Qadr is on the 27th night of Ramazan. He says, he gives 2 proofs for this. He says, firstly, there are 9 letters in the Arabic word Laylatul Qadr. Laylatul Qadr, it has 9 letters in it. And this word appears 3 times in Surah Qadr. So what he does, he says, if 9 is multiplied by 3, 9 letters, the words mentioned 3 times, 9 is like maths today, isn't it? 9 is multiplied
by 3. I should get my chalk and a board, and we should have a board here, Ramazaan.
So it's mentioned, Laylatul Qadr is mentioned 3 times in the surah, and the letters is 9 times, so 9 times 3 is 27.
27.
Which hints that Laylatul Qadr is on the 27th night. And secondly, there are 30 words in the surah, Inna anzalnahu fi Laylatul Qadr, there are 30 words in the surah, and the 27th word is here, which in the Arabic it means it. So which refers to Laylatul Qadr, like as in it. So in other words, this is a hint from Allah Azza wa Jal for the righteous that Laylatul Qadr is on the 27th night.
Subhanallah, subhanallah.
MashaAllah. You know, again, we were talking again about, I keep on coming back to worldly and dunyawi and deen and akhirat. And, a lot of the people that are from the Pakistan and Indian origin, what they do is once a year or once every twice or once every 2 years, they go back home. Or go back to Pakistan and go back to India. And they don't just go for a day, or a couple of days. They take about a month off. A month is probably the average. Yeah. A month is probably the average time that people take off. And during that month, they invariably take an unpaid leave. Where I was working today, we got a request in that somebody wants to take unpaid leave. And it's about 7 weeks. Yeah. So they're willing to go to Pakistan for 7 weeks, unpaid leave, not make any money, attend a wedding or whatever they're doing here. But we're not willing to take 1 month unpaid leave and sit in the masjid. Right? We'll get that month unpaid leave to go to Pakistan to attend a wedding, so our nephew's or niece's wedding, or my brother or sister's wedding, but we won't take time off to spend in the masjid. Okay, a month, maybe a month might seem like a lot. But how many of us, we have, if you work in the UK, then we all have according to the law of the land, you have 28 days holiday in a year. Can't we take 10 days holiday off? Can we take 10 days holiday off and give that to Allah, give that to our akhirat? 14 days in the year, 18 days in the year, take for your own relaxation, your pleasure, or whatever you do. And 10 days, just 10 days, take them 10 days off and spend them in itikaf in the masjid.
You said that you give them to Allah. To be honest with you, Allah doesn't need any of our ibadat. No. This is actually for ourselves.
Our own benefit.
It's our own self. All these deeds that we do is basically our, spiritual bank balance for when we leave this world, which everyone is going to guaranteed leave. And then it is basically down to what we have done, good or bad, on how we're going to get judged. And it's by doing good deeds, making that side of the scale heavy, that we're going to hopefully get to the destination that we want to go to. So why, like you said, we can do it for selfishness. We will take days off to go for our enjoyment, merriment, wasteful things, complete things that are not going to give us any benefit later on, after, because we're not thinking in that way. The mindset is not in the way that it should be, and that's where we're losing, unfortunately.
There's one narration which says, even on this night, Allah forgives all the people except for 4 types of people on this night as well. So the honorable companions, they asked, Ya Rasulullah, sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam, who are these 4 types of people who will not be forgiven even on this night? And the Holy Prophet alayhi salatu wasallam, he replied, 1, the alcoholics; 2, disobedient to parents. We've already had a full discussion on this. 3, those who break ties with relatives. And 4, those who bear malice and grudge against each other and break ties. So these are the 4 people: alcoholics, disobedient to parents, those who break ties with relatives, and those who have hatred and grudges against each other. And we see this, if you want to say, as a trend, or just go through the motion of sending this text message that, please forgive me. We're not going to do bad money.
Again, I'll relate it to dunya again. That, how gutted would you feel if you turned up for an interview where you got this job offer, potentially 25 quid an hour, and £750,000 in one night per hour, and they say to you, sorry, we can't give you this job because you've broken ties with your family. We're sorry we can't give you this job because you're disobedient to your parents. Sorry we can't give you this job because you've been drinking alcohol. How gutted would you feel? And then straight away you think, well, okay, I need to sort myself out here. I'm losing out here. I'm making £750,000 an hour, and you would try your best to sort yourself out.
Khalid bhai, is trivial. When you find out, and some people tell you the reason why they've had this dushmani since granddad, and it's gone to the 3rd generation down, it's like, or somebody divorced someone in that family, And ever since that, our family, the person who's divorced they both passed away 25 years ago. But their next generation and their next generation, you're still not allowed to walk in their house, you're still not allowed to walk in their gully, or even in England, like they're not invited you to a wedding. You don't know someone's personal circumstances. He might only have a certain amount of money which he could spend, or he's not invited me, and we're not inviting them, and all these grudges and this malice, and even to the extent that, look, he's not talking to me, so my enemy is your enemy, so you're not allowed to talk to him because he's my enemy, and they break relations.
It
and
happens, yeah.
I'm now going to give us a link to that person that tries to make relations.
Subhanallah.
Today in Medina, it's the 26th of Ramadan, it's the 27th of Ramadan here. This is why we're talking about Laylatul Qadr, because it could be this night. But on the 26th night, it is confirmed that it is the Jashn Wiladat of Amir al-Sunnat. And today, those people that have been watching Madani channel have seen what is happening in our Almi Madani Markaz. And now, inshallah, we're going to go over to a link and show some of the views of some of our UK viewers and UK Zamadars that have sent in their views with regards to Amir al-Sunnat. Ji Medina.
پیارے پیارے شہد سے میٹھے امیر اہل سنت کی بارگاہ میں محبت برا السلام علیکم ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ. آج آپ کی جشن ولادت ہے، 26ویں شریف ہے رمضان المبارک کی. اللہ تعالیٰ آپ کو مزید درازی عمر بالخیر عطا فرمائے، اور میری دعا تو یہ ہے کہ اللہ میری عمر بھی آپ کو عطا کر دے اور آپ اسی طرح مزید دین کی خدمت کرتے رہیں. اور اللہ ہم سب کو آپ کی غلامی میں زندگی گزارنے کی توفیق عطا فرمائے. باپا جان دعائے مغفرت کا طالب ہوں، میرے والدین کے لیے دعائے مغفرت فرما دیں. السلام علیکم ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Papa John, I wish you a very blessed birthday. I love you very much.
السلام علیکم ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ. محمد طارق اتاری المدنی، دارالحدیث جامعۃ المدینہ بریڈ فورڈ UK سے عرض گزار ہوں. امیر علیہ سنت کو 26ویں شریف بہت 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 مبارک ہو. اللہ تبارک و تعالی آپ کو عمر خضر عطا فرمائے. باپا جان اس وقت دورہ حدیث میں حاضر ہوں اور یہاں پر طلبہ بھی موجود ہیں، تو طلبہ کی جانب سے بھی آپ کو جشن ولادت بہت بہت مبارک ہو. امیر علیہ سنت کی بارگاہ میں عرض ہے کہ 21 شوال المکرم 1438 سنہ ہجری، 16 جولائی 16 جولائی کو 2017 انشاءاللہ عز و جل یہاں پر ختم بخاری کا سلسلہ ہے. تو دورہ حدیث کے طلبہ کی خواہش ہے کہ امیر علیہ سنت یہاں پر قدم رنجہ فرمائیں اور ہم امیر علیہ سنت سے برکتیں لیتے ہوئے ختم بخاری شریف کا سلسلہ کریں. امید ہے کہ آپ کرم فرمائیں گے.
السلام علیکم ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ. I love Madani channel. I love Papa Jani.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Muhammad Bilal Attari and I love Amir Ahl Sunnah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. میرا نام عبد الوحید اتاری، بریڈفورڈ UK سے. I love Amir Ahl Sunnah.
السلام علیکم wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I love Amir Ahl Sunnah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Awais Anwar and I love Amir Ahl Sunnah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm Arshad Takin from the London, UK. Happy birthday, Papa Chan. I love you, Papa Chan.
I love Papa. I love Papa. We love Amir Ahl Sunnah. میرا نام رقیہ تاریہ ہے. I love Papa. 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 Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Happy birthday, Papa Johnny. We love Papa Johnny. We love Papa Johnny. My name is Muhammad Hamid Attari. I love Amir Ahl Sunnah.
I love Papa. I love Papa. I love Papa. I love Papa.
MashaAllah. Beautiful to see the views of the children, especially the children there. Some of the elders, just to let you know, MashaAllah, the first one was our Nigran Sayyid Fuzail Bapu. He's the Nigran of the Midlands of the UK. Then we have Noor Bhai. Now Noor Bhai, who is the second one, who is speaking in English, MashaAllah. He is a person that, believe it or not, he used to be a priest. He was a priest and then he accepted Islam. And now he's in his final year. He's in his final year of Jamia, inshallah. He's going to graduate this year, inshallah, and his name will be written amongst the scholars. And I remember that I had an opportunity to go to the Jamia Riyan Bhai, and I saw the students there, and I was sitting with the students, and I was asking them where you're from and this and that, and I was saying, mashallah, I wish, that I was young enough to join you, and be in your class, and I could acquire the knowledge. And then Noor walked through the door and he said, you've got no excuses, Khalid. It's true. We don't have any excuses. If you really want to acquire the knowledge, I salute Noor mashallah, the effort he puts in. Obviously, Urdu is not his first language, and a lot of the students there are learning in Urdu. Then we had one of our teachers from Jamia there, and he announced that, inshallah, on the 16th of July, this year, inshallah, is our first graduation ceremony of all those scholars that have graduated from Jamiat al-Madinah. This year is the first year that we have this graduation. And inshallah, in years to come, the English-speaking scholars that are graduating from our Jamias, inshallah, they will go all around UK and do the work, inshallah. On the date can change, yes. It's just a provisional date, 16th of July, inshallah. We'll send out the invites on Madani channel, inshallah. You can all come there. Before we go on, just got a few messages to read. Assalamu alaikum, I'm watching Madani channel. MashaAllah. Another question here is the wazifa that you just said, that they said, yes, we've read that wazifa, Sadafa, Surah Al-Qadr Parna. Acha, Assalamu alaikum. I don't normally watch this type of stuff on TV, if I'm honest, but I stumbled upon your show in the beginning of Ramadan. Enjoy it very much, so thanks. Can I ask why this night is so important? Inshallah, we've talked about it, but maybe you've got your answer there, but we might mention it if we get the time. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Just want to say that I'm watching your program and I have learned so much. I want to give a special salam to all the brothers, especially Wasim Bhai. MashaAllah Azawajal. And we've also got here a request that basically, inshaAllah Azawajal, Darul Madinah is the Islamic schooling system. And you may have seen it on Madani channel, the Darul Madinah is the Islamic schooling system. And I think in Pakistan at the moment, there's probably 38 to 40 schools in Pakistan at the moment that are open. In the UK, our first nursery, because we started at the nursery level, started in Blackburn, which is not very far from here. And now that's gone from the nursery to the reception class to year 1 class. And inshallah, Azawajal, this year we're planning on opening in Preston, Oldham, Rotherham, Slough and Luton. So if any of you, any of the sisters out there in particular that are watching now, if you have any teaching qualifications and you feel that you can enhance Darul Madinah and send yourself, then inshallah, if you send us your number, then we will send you the email address where you can send your CV. At the same time, if you wish, and your child, if he is at the nursery age, you wish your child to go to any of these Darul Madinahs that are opening, I'll just recite them again: Preston, Oldham, Rotherham, Slough, Luton. And in the case of Blackburn, we've got reception, nursery, reception and year 1 as well. Again, Islamic education, a beautiful environment to bring our children up in. Inshallah, please bear this in mind when you're thinking about sending your children to an Islamic school. At the same time, sorry Wasim Bhai, before we move on, again, the plan is to open up more and more of these Darul Madinahs across the UK. So if it's not in your local town, then please assist us. We need help to writing the curriculums, doing all the technical work, and obviously those brothers and sisters that can assist in any way, inshaAllah Azawajal, then here we are. And those brothers that are watching now, that are in the Mahal of the Islam, if you find a suitable building in your area that could be a nursery, could be a school, then please contact us, inshaAllah Azawajal. We'll come and view the building, and inshallah we'll try our best to open up a nursery there.
On the same subject, that sometimes you might think, they want us to do it voluntary, or they might not pay us and whatever. I believe it's very competitive rates, for the
Alhamdulillah, it is.
Balance with wherever
definitely.
So don't have that that it's going to be for free. Obviously everybody has to work and they will be looked after. The brother was saying that this night, why is it special? And another reason why this night is special, Rehan Bhai, is the night when the Quran Pak was revealed. And in masjids all over the world is the night when the Khatmi Quran happens, when they finish the Quran Pak on the 27th night. And this is the way of the Holy Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, and the way of the companions. I was listening to a Mufti Sahib Bayan today, and he was mentioning that even if you look at the Quran Pak, you see a ayn on the side of the page, where the ayat is, where the ruku is, There's a ayn there with the number, whatever the ruku is. And they were mentioning that the companions, they used to read one ruku and then go into ruku. So they used to read one ruku and go into ruku. And then if they're reading 20 rakat Tarawih, every day you would read 20 rukus. So now get the calculator out once again. If you read 20 rukus a day and you finish on the 27th night, it means you're reading 20 rakat Tarawih. 20 times 27 is 540. And this is how much rukus are there in the Quran Pak. So this also shows that this is how the Tarawih was and is read around the world. Talking about the Quran Pak, Khalid Bhai, is mentioned in Surah Yusuf, verse 10. Allah Almighty has stated, translation Kanzul Iman, the Quran is not some made up story, but a confirmation of the books before it, and a detailed explanation of all the things, and a guidance and a mercy for all Muslims. And another place it says, Allah Almighty states, and we have sent down this book upon you, explaining clearly everything, and as a guidance and a mercy and glad tidings for the Muslims. Now, we know this is Kalam Allah, we know it is the book of Allah Azza wa Jal. As Muslims, we believe in this Quran Pak, and we know from very young age that we need to follow the instructions of this, and we need to read this, and this is a form of worship as well. But Khalid bhai, when we look around in society today, we can go on the WhatsApp for ages. We can browse the internet for ages. When it's time for the Quran Pak, we actually, a lot of us, we don't know where it is in the house. And when we do find it, there might be dust on it. And those who are going to say now, oh Wasim bhai, I have downloaded mine on my phone, that's why, so I don't need to read it in a book form. Tell me, is your Quran app on your front page next to your WhatsApp, or next to your email, or next to your favorite apps? Is your Quran app there? Or is it the back when you have to open? MashaAllah. But generally what we're trying to say is that the importance, and we don't prioritize in these things, and this is, if we, this is the Kalam of Allah Azza wa Jal. And I just want to say something about it. Once you mentioned before an ex-priest, and it came into my mind that there was once a priest, and he came in the court of Pir Mehr Ali Shah Sahib, Golra Sharif, and this priest asked the great saint something like, one of the biggest tragedies in Islam, the most apparent event shortly after the time of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, was the martyrdom of Imam Hussein. So this priest is saying this, and he goes, the Muslims, they claim that the Quran contains a reference to everything in the universe, yet it makes no reference to Imam Hussein. So this was his question. Even though the Quran was continuously being revealed during the first 6 years of Imam Hussein's life, yet there's no mention of him. So this was his objection. There is a surprising omission considering the supreme sacrifice the Imam offered in the cause for Islam. So this was his challenge. Pir Mehr Ali Shah Sahib Rahmatullah Alayhi, he questioned the priest, from the Quran Pak, read anything from anywhere, start reading. So the priest, he's obviously studied a bit about the religion, he starts Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. The Shah Sahib says to him, stop, just there, stop. And he says to him, that according to the Ilmul Huruf and other ilms, the numerical value of Bismillah is 786. 786, we know this. He then told the priest to note down the numerical value of Imam Hussein. So he writes down 210. Then the year of his birth, 4 Hijri, he adds 4 onto that. The year of his martyrdom, 61 Hijri, he adds this. Words of Karbala, 261, he adds this. Name of Imam Hassan, 200. Year of his martyrdom, 50 Hijri, and when he add all of this together, it came 786. Allah. So this priest is obviously bamboozled, baffled to say the least, to realize the depth of the Quran, and as well as that, the knowledge of the awliya of Allah as well.
They say that, we believe that everything is in the Quran. Right? Yeah. I remember there was an alumni, he came and I was listening to his bayan, and he said that, he picked up a VHS cassette. We will show your age now. A VHS cassette is something that's like a video player that used to play instead of the CDs and the DVDs now. They're quite like almost like a box, small box. And he picked one up, this scholar, this Al-Madani, he says, what's this? Yeah, what's this? And he said to him, Hazrat, iske andar aapka photo hai. My photo inside this? He said, yeah, aapka bayan iske andar hai. Mujhe to nazar nahi aa raha, I can't see it. Yeah, I can't see it. Yeah, I can't see what's in this. And he said, no, you need to have this special tool, the special machine to be able to see it, and then you can see it. He says, if my picture is inside this and I can't see it, then how can anybody complain that everything's in the Quran and they can't see it? Yeah? Nobody complains, nobody complains about that. The Holy Quran, inshallah, has everything there for us. We've got a few messages that I just want to quickly read. One message, someone sent it a few times, and like I said, I don't answer fiqh questions, but here's a question he's asked is, I'm watching Madani channel, I had a question, why do mosques in the same time open and close fast at different times? My dear Islam brother that you sent in the message, that's not a question for me to answer, that's a question for your local mosque to answer. Why do they have separate timetables? You need to ask them, why have you got separate timetables? With regards to, I mentioned earlier on about Darul Madinah, the fact that we've got the schooling system there, inshallah. We said that you can send in your number here. But there's an email address that I've just been given. I don't know if you can note this down. It's info, I-N-F-O, info at Darul Madinah. And Darul Madinah is spelled D-A-R-U-L-M-A-D-I-N-A-H, darulmadinah.co.uk. Info at Darul Madinah, darulmadinah.co.uk. You can send in your CVs there, and if you all the request of information that we mentioned earlier on, you can send it in there again. Again, time is very, very short. A lot of people have asked for du'as, inshallah. We'll try and do a little bit of a du'a at the end. But we need to now go on to our chronic story because we've been leaving this out because of what's been happening, inshallah, these last couple of days.
الرحیم. Khalid bhai, the story that we're going to go through today is about how Makkah was populated. Because there was a point in time where it was just a vast desert land, deserted, a very rough terrain, no water, and so it wasn't, even inhabited by the nomads of the time where they would graze animals and stuff. There was nothing like this at all. Sayyidina Ibrahim's son, alayhi salam, Sayyidina Ismail alayhi salam, was born in Syria to Sayyidatuna Hajira radiyallahu anha. Sayyidina Ibrahim's wife, Sayyidatuna Sarah radiyallahu anha, she didn't have any children, and due to envy she asked Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam to separate Sayyidatuna Hajira radiyallahu anha and her son. So Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam, he basically planned to take them away. Allah Azza wa Jal provided means for this. Therefore a divine revelation was revealed saying upon Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam to take Sayyidatuna Hajira radiyallahu anha and Sayyidina Ismail alayhi salam to leave them in such a land where there is no sign of water, nothing except plain fields and deserted mountains. Therefore Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam left along with Sayyidatuna Hajira radiyallahu anha and his son Sayyidina Ismail alayhi salam, and they came to the place where the sacred Kaaba is now situated. So at the time it wasn't there. At that time there was no population, nor was there any water, there was no human beings far and wide. Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam placed some dates in a pot and filled a skin sack with water, and he departed from there. Sayyidatuna Hajira radiyallahu anha called out, "O Prophet of Allah, where are you going, leaving us helpless in this lonely desert?" Sayyidatuna Hajira radiyallahu anha called out many times, but he alayhi salam did not reply back. In the end, Sayyidatuna Hajira radiyallahu anha asked, "Are you leaving us here at your own will, or are you fulfilling the command of Allah Azza wa Jal by doing so?" Then he alayhi salam replied, "O Hajira, whatever I have done is the command of Allah Azza wa Jal." Subhanallah. After hearing this, now this is such a beautiful reply as well to this, that Sayyidatuna Hajira radiyallahu anha said, "You may leave now. I have a stern belief and firm faith that Allah Azza wa Jal will not let me or my son get harmed." After this, Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam made a long dua and came back to Syria. After a few days, when the dates and water ran out, severe hunger and thirst struck Sayyidatuna Hajira radiyallahu anha. The milk in her chest had dried out, and her son was suffering due to hunger and thirst. And she began to run between the hills of Safa and Marwa 7 times in search of water, but there was no sign of water anywhere. When we go to Hajj now, and we do the same 7 times between those 2 points. Moreover, the condition of Sayyidina Ismail alayhi salam was such that due to severe thirst, he alayhi salam was crying severely and was banging his heels against the ground. Sayyidina Jibreel alayhi salam struck his foot near Sayyidina Ismail alayhi salam's heels, and a spring of water gushed from there. This water possessed properties like that of milk and used to work both as food and water. Therefore, by drinking the water of Zamzam, Sayyidatuna Hajira radiyallahu anha and Sayyidina Ismail alayhi salam, they survived. Subhanallah. Sayyidina Ismail alayhi salam grew up, he became a young man, and he started hunting. This hunting and the water of Zamzam became their means of living. And then slowly what started to happen, that the people, the tribe of Jurhum, they started to graze their animals, their goats, seeing that there was now water there. They started living there with the permission of Sayyidatuna Hajira radiyallahu anha. Furthermore, Sayyidina Ismail alayhi salam married with a woman of the tribe, and with the passage of time, that this area it became populated. Allah Azza wa Jal commanded Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam for the construction of the Holy Kaaba. Therefore, Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam constructed the Holy Kaaba with the help of his son, Sayyidina Ismail alayhi salam. At that time, Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam, he did a dua for his children as well as the inhabitants of Makkah. The dua is mentioned in different verses of the Holy Quran. In Surah Ibrahim, some portion of this dua is mentioned in the following words. O our Lord, I have caused some of my descendants to settle in a valley wherein there is no cultivation, near your sacred house, O our Lord, so that you may keep the prayer established. Therefore incline some hearts of people towards them, provide them fruits to eat, perhaps they may be thankful. This is the historical beginning of the establishment of Makkah al-Mukarramah that is proven from the Holy Quran.
Subhanallah.
In that dua, Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam asked for two things from Allah Azza wa Jal. The first was the hearts of some people may incline towards his lineage, his offspring, and the second was that these people may have fruits as their food. Subhanallah. These supplications, these du'as of Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam, they were accepted. Therefore the hearts of the people were attracted towards the inhabitants of Makkah in such a way that today billions of people are anxious to behold the sacred land of Makkah. For centuries the Muslims have strived and endured hardships to go to Makkah through land, sea and air, and will continue to do so until the Day of Judgment. The abundance of fruit in the food of the people of Makkah is to such an extent that despite there being no crop of fruit in Makkah or in its surroundings, the people are astonished to see various varieties of dry fruits and fruits being available in the markets of Makkah throughout the year. Allah Azza wa Jal has blessed the land of Taif to yield fruits of all types, and a variety of fruits and vegetables are transported from there to Makkah. Therefore, a huge variety of fruits and dry fruits are also imported to Makkah from different European countries, as well as Egypt and Iraq. All this is by virtue of the dua of Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam. It is undoubtedly a true wonder of Islam. After this, Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam invoked the following dua for his offspring and all the believers. O my Lord, maintain me as one who establishes prayers and some of my descendants. O our Lord, and accept my prayer. O our Lord, and forgive me and my parents and all the Muslims on the day when the account will take place. So, the model you can get from this, dear brothers, Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam was extremely submissive to Allah Azza wa Jal. You know, whatever the command was, he followed it. You know, this is a big issue that you can be told that you leave your wife and child in a deserted area and just leave them with nothing. You know, and you know, who would do this these days? You know. Secondly, we have also the sacrifice that was commanded upon Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam to sacrifice his son as well. Without any question, they were ready to do these things. You know, so we have a example here that we should be happy with whatever Allah Azza wa Jal's will is. You know, and we follow the commands no matter what. Sallu ala الحبيب Another model for the supplications that Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam invoked with immense affection for the prosperity and well-being of his offspring. We learned that to love one's children and to do dua for them is the blessed tradition of the reverend prophets alayhi salam. Therefore the Muslims should adopt this tradition for the prosperity of their kinfolk as well, their families.
Subhanallah, MashaAllah. Again, you know, we were talking about the Quran early on, and this is a book, The Quranic Wonders, that's available from our website www.dawatislami.net and available at all our Manqabats al-Madina shops. Again, you know, what a great gift you could buy for your children on the day of Eid. You know, we buy them cakes and we buy them all these sorts of things, nice clothes and everything, but at the same time, if we buy them books and give them books, then insha'Allah, when they read them books and whatever knowledge they gain from them books, whatever they put into practice, then insha'Allah, you're not just giving them a book, insha'Allah, you'll get something in return as well in the form of sawab and good deeds, insha'Allah. Ji Wasim Bhai.
Khalid Bhai, I was just mentioning about that, you know, a lot of people, they have this thing, oh, I don't understand it in Arabic, and you know, I don't, you know, we still have to read the Quran Pak in Arabic, but at the same time, you know, like we keep saying, and it's one of the Madani naam as well, to read it with tafsir and tarjuma, translation and commentary as well. Khazainul Irfan and Kanzul Iman Sharif, and this, another thing, if you read this book as well, obviously this will increase our interest and our love for the Quran Pak as well. Inshallah, we'll go through the 12 points of qaza, making your fast qaza, and sometimes when your roza breaks, sometimes they would. I'm just going through a few Madani flowers and that. I'll carry on. If rainwater or flake of snow goes down the throat, the fast will become invalid and is mandatory to make up for it. Likewise, swallowing a large amount of sweat or tears will invalidate the fast, one will have to make up for it. If somebody continued to eat assuming that some part of the night was still left, but came to know later on that the time of Sahri had ended while he was still eating, his fast would be invalid and he will have to make up for it. If somebody breaks the fast assuming that the sun has set, but came to know later that it hadn't set, his fast will become invalid and he will have to make up for it. If somebody mistakenly does iftar because the sunset as a result of premature utterance of Maghrib Azan or siren wailing, which happens in other, no, doesn't happen here really, and comes to know later on that the siren or the Azan started earlier than the actual sunset, even if it's not his fault, his fast will still become invalid and he will have to make up for it. Unfortunately, people have been neglectful about these matters of Sharia these days. Every Muslim should be careful about his fast himself. Rather than relying on sirens or radio or TV announcements or even the Azan, everyone should get the correct information of the Shari and Sahri and Iftar timings themselves. Last point, during wuzu, if water reached the brain or went down the throat while sniffing water into the nose, the fast will become invalid and its qaza would be mandatory, provided one was aware that he was fasting. However, if one was unaware of the fast at that moment, his fast will not become invalid.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah, Jazakallah. Again, during the month of Ramadan, it's something that we need to know. This knowledge that we need to know. That in there you mentioned the fact that there's knowledge that we need to know about the Sari and Attari timings. It's farz upon us. In the same way, the whole knowledge of fasting, what invalidates the fast, what breaks the fast, when we should fast, when we should break the fast, this is knowledge that is farz upon us that we all need to know. So please acquire that knowledge, and one of the ways of acquiring it is if you get that book, Blessings of Ramadan, again, available from our website and available at any Maktabat al-Madina shops. Please make the intention to read it once a year just before the holy month of Ramadan. Time's against us, but again,
Makruh Tahrimi of Salah, we're going to start inshallah today. MashaAllah. First one, fidgeting with beard, body or clothes. This is Makruh Tahrimi, to do this in namaz. Folding clothes, as these days some people lift their trousers etc. from the front or rear side whilst going down for sajda. However, if the cloth sticks to the body, there is no harm in unsticking with one hand. Makruh Tahrimi, if you're doing these, then your namaz is wajibul i'ada. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you'd have to repeat your namaz if you're doing these. Next one, if either of your sleeves is folded higher than half your forearm. So it's not t-shirt, it's saying your sleeve, but you're folding it. If it's folded higher than half of forearm, the salah will become makruh tahrimi. Being in intense need of urinating, defecating or breaking wind, etc. If there is intensity before starting the namaz like this is a sin, provided there was sufficient time available for salah. However, if the time for namaz will elapse in case of making wuzu, having urinated or defecated, offer salah in the same condition. If this state occurred during salah, it is wajib to cancel the namaz, provided there is sufficient time available for the salah. If someone offered salah in the same state, he would become a sinner. It is makruh tahrimi to remove grit during salah. It is mentioned by the Holy Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam about touching grit during salah. The Holy Prophet replied, once you can do it, and if you avoid doing so, it is better than 100 black-eyed she camels. They were like the top of the range camels them days. However, if sajda cannot be performed according to sunnah due to grit, removing it once is allowed. Further, if any wajib cannot be performed without removing the grit, removing it is wajib in this case, even if there's a need of removing it more than one time. And the last one is makruh tahrimi to crack knuckles during salah. Is mentioned in narration the reference of Sunan Ibn Majah that the beloved and blessed Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam said, don't crack your knuckles during salah. And another narration, it says, the Holy Prophet alayhi salatu wasallam says, he prohibited from cracking knuckles at the time of waiting for salah. And one more narration says that knuckle cracking was forbidden for the one going for offering salah. On the basis of the foregoing hadith, the following three rulings were provided. One, cracking knuckles during salah, as well as then things connected to salah, such as going to offer the salah, waiting for salah, all this is makruh tahrimi. Number two, cracking knuckles unnecessarily when not offering salah or not waiting for salah is still makruh tanzihi in this case. When not offering namaz, crackling knuckles out of need, such as giving rest to the fingers, this is mubah. And last point, tashbih, intermixing of the fingers of one hand with those of the other. The Holy Prophet ﷺ said, the one proceeding to masjid should not do tashbih, i.e. should not intermix both hands' fingers with each other, as verily he is in salah. Tashbih is makruh tahrimi at the time of waiting for salah, as well as going to offer the salah.
MashaAllah.
Sallu ala al-habib.
Many Islam brothers and viewers of Madani channel, you've been watching the Silsila Blissfull Saher. A lot of people have sent in requests for du'as, and a lot of people have also said that, can you do du'a for our children? They're away from the mahal, they're not listening to us, blah blah. But my dear Islam brothers and viewers of Madani channel, please, bring your children into the mahal of Dawat Islam. You find out where the local gatherings are, take them to the gatherings. The fathers should take the sons, the mothers should take the daughters. And at the same time, we pray for all those individuals that sent in du'as for their sisters, their mothers, the daughters, the brothers, the fathers, the children who are ill. Some are in hospital, some are undergoing operations, some are struggling during this blessed month of Ramadan. Ya Allah, for the sake of this blessed month of Ramadan, we ask Thee to restore them all to their former health. And Ya Allah, we also ask Thee to give sabr to all those people that are looking after those people. And Ya Allah, as this month of Ramadan is going, Ya Allah, we've done nothing. Ya Allah, we've done nothing during this month. And we've got nothing to present. We've got nothing to be proud of. We've got nothing to present in your court. And if whatever we have done in this month, is shown to everybody, then all we will have is shame. Ya Allah, we ask Thee to whatever little we have done, Ya Allah, accept that ibadat. Ya Allah, whatever sins we have committed, Ya Allah, we ask Thee to forgive them. Ya Allah, you are full of mercy. You are the one that loves those who forgive. Ya Allah, please forgive us all. And Ya Allah, turn our sins into good deeds. And Ya Allah, allow us all the Muslims of the world to die with Iman and enter into the garden of paradise without accountability. Sallu ala al-habib, sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad, sallallahu. My dear Islam brothers, you've been watching Madani channel, Blissfull Saher. Insha'Allah, tomorrow, same time, same place. Keep watching Madani channel. Sallu ala al-habib, sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad, sallallahu ta'ala.